So, you're seeing me in, I think it's 60 FPS, I don't actually know. I've dug out the old frickin' GH3 to do this and another hardware video that will be coming to you this week. So keep an eye out. Because if you're a streamer, whether you're a starting up streamer or a regular streamer, some of this shit will be very interesting to you, or content creator, or whatever you do. It might be quite interesting. So pin back your frickin' ears and find out. Today we're going to have a look at the Live Gamer Portable 2 from AVerMedia. They have kindly sent me one of these. They actually said to me, which one would you like the look of? Because they have a range of capture cards, and I went with this one, the Live Gamer Portable 2. So let me just get this spinning round. The camera's not particularly happy with the font, colouring, whatever's the shiny silver thing. It's struggling to focus, so apologies, but we will go with it and see what happens. These are the features the card apparently has. It has 1080p 60 FPS plug and play, which interested me. PC and PC free mode, which again, we will come back to this. This PC free thing interested me quite heavily. Headset commentary, so that's what the audio cable part is for. You can plug in your own headset, and you can also have console party chat. So it has the facility here to add all that into your streaming in perfection via ReCentral, which I assume is the software, much like the Elgato streaming software, that goes with the card. Inside you get the card, you get USB cable, you get your normal audio jack cable, you get your HDMI cable, and a startup quick guide. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh, hello. Do you need help? Don't return it to the store, contact us. Fair enough. This is what you got inside box. There's an online manual if you want. They've got a nice QR code. Good job, lads. You can also download their recording software and streaming software designed for the Live Gamer Portable 2. That's the ReCentral that you saw referenced on the box. And then, this is your quick guide. So you've got what I said on the front, your audio buttons. We'll come back to mode switch in a minute, which was this one, and then on the back you have, it would help if I was not reading the German but reading the English, but you have TV, console, computer / power source, and micro SD card. That's all you need, and that's why I went, hold the phone, what? Because this bad boy doesn't actually need to be connected to a computer. Unlike some external recording devices, it will save it to an SD card. An SD card, right? A fucking SD card. Now, I do know that there are products out there, such as the Atomos, which allow for capture, and that uses a giant hard drive. So that's another thing that intrigued me, was how well does it work with this SD card? Now, I do happen to have an SD card, so we will fire it up in a minute and see how it captures. There is an SD card at the back now, in that little slot at the end. That is literally a click in, click out. You know the deal, same as like 3DS cartridges and Switch cartridges and shit, you know, that kind of thing. So that went in very easily, no issues there. I have got a very nice fabric-y covered cable that goes from the computer to this, which is a USB mini USB power lead, which you could then plug into, I assume you could plug into like an iPhone charger, bearing in mind the voltage from these fuckers can't charge an iPhone, so it would probably be quite happy running off of that. Which just gives it the flexibility, because a lot of the issues with the external cards is that they need, number one, a computer, and number two, a power source that's usually linked to a computer. I think you can probably on some do a little workaround, cheeky workaround, but things such as the Atomos, which are big ones that are very expensive, I think they need an actual external power supply. So in terms of flexibility for powering this thing, that's quite good in itself. HDMI lead is going into the MacBook. Sorry, it's going out of the MacBook actually, because this is plugging into the HDMI in, because I wanted it to capture the HDMI in onto the SD card, assuming this isn't encrypted. You better not be encrypted or I'm going to be very cross. I'm pretty sure you aren't though, because I played Borderlands on you once and I filmed it and it was bad, which is why I know that the MacBook can't handle anything. Excitement time has begun because there's power to it. I'll confess, this was a lot simpler in theory. If this all goes according to plan in a minute, this is a lot simpler than I expected, and kudos to them. So I have put in an SD card at the back in the hole. It is a 32 gig class 10 SD mini card. Their website does tell you the models that work really well. The idea is class 10 and micro SD are the important words, because it has to be fast enough to capture onto, especially at 60 FPS and 1080p. Now, we'll come back to the light in a minute and how all that works, but I have got a power cable in the back, which is a USB. It's a nice fabric wire, and I think it's just a micro USB, to be honest. So, so long as you've got something to plug the USB side into, so you could literally repurpose like an Apple charger or whatever the frick, you know, that's actually great because it's on the go, etc, etc, etc. Now, there is no actual power thing, but actually that makes a lot of sense because this ships internationally. There's no point in making the power adapters for different countries, because also sometimes the voltage is off. So that is a really good way of doing it. I like that devices do it, so well done. I've got HDMI lead as well. My nitpick with that is it is a bit short, but it is free. Well, not free, but you know what I mean. You can buy better HDMI leads off Amazon, etc. really easily, so that's just nitpicking the length of it. I think in an ideal world this would live right next to your console and then the power lead goes elsewhere. It's not like you've got to have it on the desk at all times. So that's a thing. I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but I'm really loving the rubberized grip on the bottom because it doesn't slide around like a bitch. So many things are just coated in plastic and go everywhere. I have to be a little bit careful with this. That's a bit disrespectful, but you know what I mean, right? You have a fucking plastic shell and it's just skittering about all over the desk because you're trying to put it somewhere, but the wires make it go somewhere, or it just slides off because you knock it. This is a lot like, look, I'm hitting that. I'm not hitting it, I'm tapping it and it's not going that far. So I've also got horrible fingerprints on it already. I'm a terrible person. So from that point of view, I am already quite impressed. And yeah, if I can get this working with the Mac, which I'm about to try, then holy manoli, this is going to be amazing. I have loaded up a game of Civ 5 because I'm a fucking noob. I've no idea what's happening in this game of Civ 5. It's been ages. I obviously saved it and walked away, but it's a game that I know this computer can run. So what I'm going to do is, the blue light is on, which means it's ready. If it's a steady red light, it is an error, so it's not got internet, or if you're trying to stream, or the capture card, the SD card isn't right, etc, etc, etc. And I'm going to press it, and it should then go to pulsing or breathing, as the manual calls it, which means if it's blue, I think you're streaming, and if it's red, I think you're recording. Since I haven't got streaming set up, I'm going to assume it's recording, because otherwise it would show the red error logo and go, I can't do this, I don't know what you want from me. So that in itself is promising. We won't find out until I get the SD card out of it and try that, but that as well is really fucking simple, because actually I don't need to unplug it, I just need to change this to the very end logo and it will turn into a USB device that lets me access the SD card. My one feedback in terms of this is that the mouse is a little bit juddery all over the place. This may be because of the resolution being changed, just because this is a weird MacBook. So don't look into that too far. I think that is more down to the, it's still playable. It's more down to the PC itself. Let's stop the capture and let's pop it. If I then exit game, please. Yeah, it's actually the resolution. It's not It's not the capture card, because the capture card stopped. So it's the resolution it's forcing the screen to be at, because this is not a native 1080p. And that's fine. I will cope with that, because I bought this frickin' MacBook. So I will live with it. Right, so the next thing we need to do is try and see if we can get the files off there. So I've just switched it into USB mode. USB mode. Whoa, steady. Steady. You alright? You good? You putting yourself back in the correct resolution? Oh, there it is. Remote disk no name has appeared on the desktop. Personally, this looks great. Like, I'm watching it, it looks fine. I'm not seeing any huge issues. If I load up another one of them, so if I load up like this one, this is Lisbon. You can see here that that's moving pretty smoothly, especially if you look at the gulls by the ships. Everything looks pretty tasty. As an initial impression, I am pleasantly surprised by this little guy. I like the lightweight travelling thing. I like the design. I feel like I'm in Top Gear now or something. I like the frickin' box. I like that you can travel with it and travel light. So I'm very intrigued to try it out in other scenarios and see what it is like. I don't know if it will replace my main computer Elgato one, purely because I have a lot of love for it. It's been with me for many years, but I have been unsatisfied with external capture cards. I'll be very interested to see how well it does with other streamers as well. And yeah, like, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Is this the kind of thing that you'd be interested in picking up? Or are you still an Elgato fan? Dare I say it, are you a Hopage fan? If so, what the fuck's wrong with you? Because Hopage has been destroying my footage for fucking years and I don't use them anymore. Or are you a posh bitch and have you got an Atomos? Now, oh my god. If you've got an Atomos, we need to talk. Thank you very much again to AVerMedia for sending me this. You probably haven't 100% won me on the internal one, just because I do love my Elgato baby. If you have enjoyed this, do give us a thumbs up. And yeah, I will see you next time for more stuff related to gaming, maybe even actual games. Holy shit. Bye bye!